Yeah, they're all long ones, of course. If we have a stomp, we'll maybe fit in 5. 15 seconds to go, guys.
I hate that last 10 seconds. I hate
Why?
that,
Because we timed our rambling not to be...
You know, I hate the, yeah, do you know, like, can you think of anything to say that could fit 10 seconds? No. Shut up. But with that, we are ready to go in, so let's get into our game number 2. Hello everybody and welcome to our game number 2, King of the Hill Season 3. We have here our first king of Season 3 playing as the red on the west side of Kolodny Firma. It's going to be Von Ivan.
Yes, the old Kolodny Firma switcheroo. If you're a new viewer and you're watching this on YouTube, I don't want the 20th comment of this year saying, switch the map around, the players aren't in the right position. It's not our fault, goddammit. You shut your whole mouth. It confuses me. It still does to this day. Every time I cast on Kolodny Firma, my brain swaps sides in my head. Anyway, on the east side, on the west side of your bar at the bottom of your screen, it is Hoi Paul. He is the long-term adversary of Von Ivan. These two guys have been battling every day of your lives to this date. They are born and ready to face one another, and they're doing it in brutal best-of-1 confrontation in this King of the Hill winner stays on format, and Von Ivan right now is king.
Yeah, I love this kind of thing, to be honest. We don't want to make it easy for any king, friend or foe. Quite frankly, we want them to have a hard time. We want to put people under pressure, and Von, after having to play out of his skin against Kimbo in the previous game, finds himself up against Brits again.
Does indeed. Brits are the flavour of the month at the moment, thanks to snares and thanks to, of course, the Valentine, which I'm sure we'll possibly be seeing more of.
Look at this.
UC's found the Kubel.
It's a bit touch and go.
Yeah, pretty sure the Kubel's okay there, to be honest.
Should be. It's got no upgrade as of yet, of course, very early game, so should be more than fine.
What's really good about that, though, is actually he's just stopping Von from capping the strategic points and getting those early game resources in. Really important. In fact, if this Universal carrier can keep Von occupied on this side of the map, this single Tommy squad is going to be able to capture all the high resource points on Paul's side of the map. Interestingly, the Universal Carrier, of which 117,000 were built in World War II, can now be represented, legally speaking, by the company Rolls-Royce, or the IP at least, because that bought Vickers, which formerly made this vehicle. And then, of course, we've got the Kubelwagen, which is a Volkswagen Beetle, made a bit bigger and made for military purposes. So there's the kind of World War II military-industrial complex at work there. Von trying to sneak this Raketin up to the Universal Carrier. This will be the time to put it down. He should get that first shot off. It's a big hit. Paul needs to get out of there quickly. Oh, he takes the shot!
That was a really close one for a long-range Raketenwerfer. To be honest, he might get another shot in here. He's got excellent vision. He might go between the gap, perhaps. That would have been crazy if he'd done that.
I really like that he did that, because it's really important with units like that. You know, when something leaves the cone of fire, just take a ground attack, because it's easy to overshoot, and there's a big chance of getting it. Oh, Raketin there is just...
Super sneaky Von Ivan. Oh, this is great. He's now gone uncloaked, by the way. Kubelwagen is baiting him. Don't have any trucks deployed quite yet. AE has a bug splatted, so I'll be speeding up to get with you very shortly.
No worries. Well, yeah, actually, Paul is going to know that the Raketin's on that strategic cutoff point, because that's currently stealth capping, and he's going to know. Interesting just to point out, by the way, Von has gone for Scavenge Doctrine again, so
Likely to be seeing those Jaeger light infantry that we utilized in the previous game.
Just seen something so funny from Pompey and Steam. He wanted to declare that he does not identify as a Kimbo fan. He just wants to see Kimbo play. Sorry, that was from earlier. I don't know, it's not Kimbo anymore, but still, it's kind of funny.
Well, it's a strong start from Von. Pretty quiet, actually. I guess this is Paulo has just got to figure out what to do. He's repairing the universal carrier. Sappers are out. And look at the Raketten. Look at the location of the Raketten. Von really, really wanted to pick that off. Sending it right out to the base. So risky, but nevertheless, he does have the unit on call. He should get it over to the right-hand side now because the universal carrier is going to be uncounted. Now it does have the Vickers upgrade, going to be slightly more effective. Nice incendiary grenade to force the Tommies out of the building. It's going to give Von access to some green cover as he fights against the universal carrier. And good play from Paul there, actually, to get this territory back. He's going to end up with double fuel once he connects his territory in the middle.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
So yeah, very good play from Paul so far. He's going to be taking a garrison just outside of Von's base, so he's also now going to be able to detect which direction Von leaves his base, where he's sending all of his units, and I suspect Von is going to be drawn down to the south side to protect the only resources he's going to have.
Time stamp, please.
Timestamp is currently 6:10.
Okay, I'm waiting for you at 6:30. Count into 6:30 for me.
Oh, okay, no problem at all.
All infantry squads can have an additional infantryman.
Probably do some casting in between them.
No, it's literally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6:30.
1, 2, 3. And the truth is that Von Ivan has been pegged back at this point. He's going to have to push north. Still, of course, kept his Kubel alive and kicking. But good capping by Paul, good micro, and good battlefield presence thus far.
He's done really well to capitalise on Von being off the field for so long, and he's also been moving around a lot to avoid this Raket, and I think he's done a good job of that. He already took the first hit. The universal carrier is just kind of on the right hand side, right on the flanks. Then he brings it onto the other side of the map. It's just been played very well.
Yeah, it's moving around really well out there. Let's say Paul's always had decent micro and good capping around the map. It's one of the reasons he's been such a prolific player over the years. Never quite had the true edge to take out some of the possible big EU players like Loveness, perhaps. But he's always been there or thereabouts. Definitely in the top, I'd say 10 most of the time, and eking into the top 5 of players worldwide at one point in time. Notably around ESL, he won a lot of the N and A majors at that point in time.
He is a good player. I don't think you can take that away from Paul ever. I mean, he is a top player, I think. But I haven't really kept up with him like to date. I haven't seen what he's been doing recently. So this is kind of like a first sighting for me since this patch has come in, as to what kind of strategies he's doing. Von is playing...
Good flank there with the JLIs. They've gotten a really good angle on these Tommies on retreat. But good blocking by Paul. He jumps in that garrison. I tell you, that's probably saved the Tommy's life, because otherwise the JLI would have done the same.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of movement from Von here to work his way around the Arc of Fire, keep the pressure on. Universal Carrier is harassing the church. The Tommy's having a great fight from that green cover position in the centre. And that's the important suppression that comes off from that MG.
What a curious battle this has been. It's been truly an interesting engagement there. One to really study, I guess. Because Von Ivan came from a north attack there. Paul with some decent micro and good tactical decisions to counter. But Von Ivan still pushes on regardless. And gets a good shot in there. Rakettenwerfer will take out the UC.
Oh, that's got to be
surely?
Got to be.
Yes!
Beautiful. Clockwork, eh? Absolutely like Clockwork. Even had an MG 34 for suppression to make sure the Tommies didn't pick up the Stern Pioneers on the retreat. Good covering of his units when they retreat. It's that...
Commander that Helping Hands popularised here, Special Weapons Regiment. A lot of people think of Hands as a mobile defence player. But certainly, Special Weapons Regiment was a big one he's used. And it's a good one because you get, of course, the resupply half-track, which allows you, with a little bit more economy, to get your units fully upgraded. Just helps out and getting your tanks out sooner, whilst having good infantry presence on the battlefield. Late game, of course, you get the Crocodile as well, which is it's a decent vehicle, especially for Holodny Firma, where there's a lot of shot blockers and sight blockers, so you can spray that Molten Fury from concealed position away from any anti-tank weapons.
Not that it cares much about anti-tank weapons anyway, being so heavily armoured.
Yeah, but still, stops the drain. It just makes it uncounterable, basically. Not that we're even close to seeing that. We're 10 minutes in at the moment. Just Alien Stormers doing their reflex reaction to that lull-in activity that comes at about the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, there isn't loads going on. I think a lot of the engagements they're just standard. They're just fighting little you know, tit-for-tat battles all over the map, and nothing big. I haven't seen those like big push for the resource decaps. And Paul certainly doesn't need it. Paul can just sit back right now, sit back on some really good resources. I suspect he'd probably want to go for some kind of weapons upgrade soon, given that his plus 53 munitions currently standing.
It's interesting that Paul's never been really about those big all-in plays. He will attack, but the meme, "Hoi, attack, attack, attack," as Von Ivan has popularised, it doesn't really describe Paul. He's more of a smotherer. He'll slowly outcap you and just look for choice engagements, and then he'll blob you if he can get chance. When he congeals his units and just goes in for a big thrusting attack. It's led to many demo charges over the years.
Some seriously great demo charges. I wonder if we'll see more of those actually. They still do have their uses.
Yep, north side of houses mostly. And also on retreat paths, you know, if you can get a sneaky combat engineer or whatever around the back. Not that we're going to see that in this game.
Don't speak too soon, because Von is starting to push the map back in a different direction, and Paulo is not good at controlling the map once he takes it. I think that's why the games go back and forward so much. In fact, when one player does decide to dominate on the other side of the map, it's quite easy for the other to go and take the opposite direction. It keeps things a little interesting because there's always a shift. You know, there's not really defensive positions being played here. There's always some kind of new analysis of attacking the terrain. So Von, Paula, I think it's going to come down to that first teching choice.
Definitely. It's going to spruce things up a little bit. Panzer II is out, or very soon to be, rather. It's in the build. And that's going to ask some questions of Paula, because he's not going to be able to push around the sides of the map as easily anymore. So he's going to consolidate his play to the centre a bit more until he's got a valid counter of his own.
Actually, Paul is about to be very, very out-teched when this Lukes comes on the field.
Look at his fuel reserves, though. He certainly has the room to tech. If it wasn't for that manpower drain, he'd probably have a tank out already.
You can't be mismanaging your infantry. This is something Kimbo is doing very well, be it he was using call-in vehicles, but obviously making sure you have the manpower and not reinforcing unless you really have to is essential.
I just saw Kimbo as not having the endurance in that game, surprisingly, considering some of his epic feats in that 2 versus 2 tournament. You know, endurance wasn't an issue, but in that 1 versus 1 game, he seemed to... Von Ivan's intensity kept the same level, and Kimbo dropped off. This game so far, it's got all the hallmarks of like a 50-minute attrition, brutal warfare game.
Yeah, it's a constant sea of red, sea of blue, calm, anger.
Well, the sea of blue's more of a small pond at the moment. The sea of red's kind of enveloping it like an amoeba.
It's like a bacteria battle on the minimap.
I haven't even been watching the game. I've been looking at this minimap in a petri dish. Circle at the bottom left of your screen. What have they done to the tactical map? They made it really clean looking. When did that happen? I've seen that. Taking the art out of the sides. I actually remember that, I think. Projector, infantry, anti-tank. Doing exactly what it says on the tin. By not hitting the... Oh, it finally hit the tank! It's such orangey!
Let's have a quick look at... let's have a quick look at Paula. So... really no teching at all at the moment. Not going for anything.
The thing is, he's a big... he loves Bitcoin, Dad. He loves investing. He loves accumulating wealth, and that's what he's doing right now. He sees fuel as Bitcoin. He's not actually playing the game. He's just trying to amass as much fuel as possible.
It's yeah. It's just being mismanaged. I think that's the easiest way to.
Yeah, you don't want him as your investment fund manager. That's for certain. Still lives with his mum, probably. Always posting those Bitcoin links on KotH.org from his mum's house. Nothing spells success like that.
Von here, going for his second SWS. I think it's likely to be tier 4, given the direction it's come out on the map. Good reactions from Von there. Gets that Raketin straight out as soon as it's detected.
Yeah, not too shabby. Reactions, but not too much to react to at the moment, it must be said. Holodny Firma, of course, means the cold one, which makes no sense now because the cold version of this map's now been removed. So it's almost like ironic, you know? The cold one.
Scorching summer.
Well, that represents Company Heroes 2 very well. Cold tech being removed. Post-Grenadier possibly dying in the south. Von Ivan, what are you playing at?
Well, I think the cold one refers to the members of that squad.
Well, very soon. They're still warm and known, but they'll be cold shortly.
People needs to be careful there.
Oh, nice Piat hit there, taking out the Kubelwagen.
It's quite funny in this stage. I mean, Von has a clear lead. Von really, I don't think, is making use of that lead. Not really sure what he's scared of. Panther 2 Luke's is about to come back into play. But I mean, given the advantage I think Von has, he's got advantages in mobility, he's got advantages in damage output with mobility. Not really seeing many counters yet, you know. Hasn't managed to dominate Paul back to the base.
He's doing enough, it would seem, but thanks to, as I say, Paul's excellent capping, in the early game especially, victory points are actually very equal. Paul's now got 285 fuel. You know, it's 230 for the crocodile, so he won't look so foolish as soon as he hits 13 command points, and he's already 2/3 of the way there.
Look how long the capping route is to the fuel, south fuel that Von's going to get. So to cap all the way down to the southern strategic point.
And build defenses.
To make this happen. Yeah, and build defenses. Fair play to him, though.
Yeah.
It's like plus 39 fuel now over Paul's plus 13.
Look at the Schwer as well. Von Ivan's like playing Sim Company of Heroes at the moment. He's borrowing a page out of Stuve's book. He's just kind of developed slowly, enveloping the map. I don't know what Paul's playing at, quite frankly. Not aggressive enough for my taste.
I agree. But also, you know, I have to say, like, I feel good watching Von at the moment because he just isn't making those mistakes I normally see him mistake. Touch wood. But I mean, actually he's just playing very well. His teching's been really good, albeit his opponent is making mistakes. Actually, Von's looking very strong today.
I chose Paul to play because I thought that he knows Von Ivan more than anybody. But maybe he still knows a trick or two, and maybe he's just biding his time and waiting to build the build he wants in order to be aggressive. You know, it's taking us all for a bit of a lethargic early to mid game, but oh, nice infiltration grenades in the south there, forcing away the Tommies.
Nice, wants to pick off the model on the retreat. Can he get that last shot on? Yes, he does! Squad goes down.
Good work there. JLI's hitting 19 kills. Puma and Rakettenver for the ultimate synergistic combo.
Synergistic?
Synergistic! I meant, obviously. Hoping you wouldn't, you know.
New word I've not heard of.
Yeah, I do tend to make up words sometimes. Call of malapropism. Oh, what nice work by the snare there. Heat round. Shape charge, warhead, grenade, whatever you want to call it. Jets of molten crap went into that tank. And made it explode.
Yeah, it's an important, very important takedown. And what do we have here at the moment? We've got the Puma trying to deal with the Tommies. And Joe Paul did go for that. He did go to spend his munitions on the weapons upgrades. But I think in a way that resource boost he had at the start, when he didn't manage that efficiently, it's really backfired. I think he spent what he had badly. Went way too much into a manpower game.
Our capture point.
So,
They're trying to take it.
We've now got company command post teched from Paul. That's why his fuel's dipped ever so slightly. So interesting to see what he's going to be able to do here. He might be able to get the crocodile out and build a tank. I know. One would argue he should have built a tank a long time ago. Colony Therma, of course, a great map for soft anti-tank, you know, handheld counters, because there's so many flanking routes, and True Sight really helps you spring a trap on an enemy tank, just like we saw with that Panzer II Lukes in the south.
It's also a great map for mine games, which I don't think, oh no, Von actually has gone for minesweepers this time round, which is good to see, because in the last game he didn't. I thought it was a bit strange given the light vehicle build that he went for.
6-pounders on its own in the south. The Vickers is set up, but it's going to be decrewed still. It's just manpower suffering for Paul. He might still be able to take it. No, he's going to salvage it. He's using the French grenades to draw the Vickers' attention. Set up now, though. Will he get the salvage? He's 60%. He's had to cancel because, of course, when you're salvaging, your received accuracy dips horrendously. But Obers are coming around the corner with that hip fire and MG34. The badasses are here. Throw in the bundle grenade.
Yeah, gotta be. No way that MG's gonna be able to get out there in time. Not the greatest impact in the world. No, of course, too close to the Tommies to stay in that engagement. Could get that MG. The regular infantry make a final shot. Volksgrenadiers aren't really prioritising it.
Indeed, so Paul survives that assault. He gets his 6-pounder back. Von Ivan stretching his legs there and flexing his muscles.
Von's doing. I think Von's actually really calculated that the crocodile's going to come out, because he's going for the Panther now. It's the best thing, I think, except for the Jagdpanzer IV that he could bring onto the field. So even if Paul does drag this game out to the crocodile, he's not going to have an easy run. Von has this on lockdown.
The British actually captured a Panther tank in World War II and used it in Holland, which is very interesting. The Panther was a highly regarded tank in World War II, despite recent hits, internet memes of transmission failures at Battle of Kursk, etc. After that, when it solidified itself, it was an incredibly impressive machine. And if you have time to go to Bovington Tank Museum, I urge you to check it out. It certainly looks like a modern main battle tank. I know people get their backs up when they hear people say that, but it definitely looks like one from the side.
You would have loved to have been on that tank, wouldn't you? Using it against the Germans. Nothing better than stealing your opponent's things.
Yes, indeed. Grand larceny. A 1 in 20 abandoned chance has led to much merriment in company heroes history. A lot of abandoned vehicles. This should be a lot more prevalent, of course, in earlier patches. This is more of a podcast with Matt and Dan rather than a competitive game, I would like to feel. So,
I mean, I feel like we're about to see it get started. Paul's just waiting for a little bit more CP. When that hits 13, he's got all the resources to bring out the crocodile. And then,
so close. He just needs to lose a model because you get 25% experience for dying. Come on, Paul. You can do it. Yes, he's got it. And here it comes. Never smile at the crocodile. And it's rolling its way slowly onto the battlefield. Don't wait for it too much, Dan. You'll miss too much.
Yeah, I know. It's can't really give it the entry it deserves. Then again, really, what is going to be going on without the crocodile? There's not going to be any decent pushes as far as I can see without this unit backing it up.
But he's waited too long, you know, and Von Ivan's just countered him beautifully. He knew that's what he was going for, and he wasn't wrong.
No, it's sensible for Paul here to try and go for a VP as quick as he can. He does have the AT gun, so maybe he can keep the Panther and Puma at bay. This is the
He's going to get a rear armor penetration on first action on the battlefield. This is so funny. He's waited for 25 minutes to get this out, and the Puma and Panther were poised beautifully to penetrate and punish Paul for his...
AT gun cannot get here quick enough. He's managed to turn the armor effectively, so at least he's going to be deflecting some shots from the front.
Oh. It's kind of a shame not to see him fully punished here. If, you know, the Panther gets punished in return! Oh no! There's the abandon!
Oh gosh.
Temporarily, yeah. It looked like it was going to go white for a moment, didn't it?
Well, now this is a different game. Things have heated up a little bit. Von about to lose a Vet 5 Volksgrenadier in the church there. Just sees it. Von was not paying attention to the rest of the map whilst all that was going on.
What is this game? Honestly,
I mean,
Company Heroes to me, it sometimes has looked like the greatest competitive game in the world. I genuinely believe it. You know, it's CS:GO, take it or leave it. You know, StarCraft 2, and at moments, Company Heroes 2, Dan, has genuinely felt like, wow, this is really cool. And then times like this, where Von Ivan has the perfect counter, the crocodile just drives around in circles.
But I mean, like, let's be honest, Von could have played that a little bit better. He could have just kept the crocodile suppressed off the back of the map, drained VPs, but no, that's not what's happened. In fact, Von is now allowing this beast to roam the field, pretty much uncontested. I don't think there are any mines down, so I don't think Von has been... I don't think Von's been too great on preparing for this situation.
No, possibly not. I like the way we've turned that around there, Dan. We can see it as a Von Ivan failing as well. But I would have felt that I had the hard counter there if I was Von Ivan, and I would have done the same, you know. Every part of your brain, here we go. We've got concentrated fire operation on the sphere, and the crocodile's there as well to just burn it to its absolute embers. And the Piat's insult to injury. There's 5 of these shots. Here comes the second. Don't get too close, Von. You don't know where those shells will land.
Oh, that was a direct hit as well. One more is going to finish that off, but Von, I think, has managed to stem it a little bit. Actually, taking the hedgerow down, Tier 4 is now able to do a bit of damage against the garrison. The Faust didn't go off. The model Fausting died. And there goes the Von losing the squad. Oh no.
Time sync for me, please.
It's currently 28:40.
5, 6, 7.
I'm 1 second ahead of you. It's okay. Puma's coming in now. Do we have an opportunity for the Puma to work here? Don't see any mines. The sappers are not on the field, but an AT gun is setting up in position.
Puma's got an excellent opportunity, but it is a trap, of course. We've got, by the way, the central engagement there.
He's going for it.
Just decrewed.
Oh, what's he doing? He's like, commit. Oh. Do I commit?
Like a relationship, he's got serious commitment issues. The Puma's got hobbies back in the base. He doesn't want anybody to stand in the way of his hobbies. He's reversing away as soon as he can.
Full retreat.
Full retreat.
Not even a retreat to
repair. Facebook official. Block! Block! Block!
Oh dear.
JLIs versus Tommies. It's a race for the MG34. The Tommies get it. JLIs throw some nice grenades on the retreat path there. The MG doesn't get into it in time and does get away. Oh, and the JLIs cap the machine gun and now get destroyed. No.
Oh, Von, that was so risky though. What a low health model. That was beyond risky, really. The Crocodile's coming up full health. Again, it's been repaired quite quickly. Double sappers, good work from Paul. Paul's a bit lucky here, but actually now that he's been pulled into this lucky phase of the game, I think he's actually starting to manage it correctly. VPs have to be the focus. Takes a hit from the AT gun and knows that he can just go right up to it.
Of course he can.
Look at that. Look at that. And that is
I've
the
got
power of the crocodile.
Blood-curdling screams on mine. It's horrid. Absolutely horrid. So the British started doing what was called wet squirts onto German fortified positions, because by this point in the late war, the Crocodile was such a fearsome apex predator of the lowlands and northern France that the Germans knew to surrender, and the British didn't want to kill everybody in horrific ways, so they would literally just, they wouldn't ignite it, they would just squirt the stuff into a bunker and the Germans would leave. Like,
it's a bit like walking up there with a Nerf gun and be like, this is a simulation of what's going to happen.
This is a simulation of what could happen to you, you dastardly Jerrys.
Yeah.
Now we've prepared this pig. And we're going to burn it with our tank.
Oh. No. Puma here. See, Von is actually going for the structural damage. We didn't see him do that in the game versus Kimbo, but now making use of the Puma to ram the building, which will take its structure down a bit quicker. There's that Crocodile again. The Eagle-Eye infantry can do nothing but retreat.
Well, here comes Paul in full effect, but Ober's with an excellent phosphorus grenade there. Horrific stuff.
I like that. I normally like to see the bundle grenade afterwards as well, but
I was hoping that's what it was, to be honest.
Here comes that Crocodile. Puma actually getting itself into a nice position. That Crocodile probably takes some rear armor shots.
Ooh, Ober's on retreat, getting burned horrifically. Puma watches on, powerless to prevent it.
Oh man, the Puma actually took an aim shot then, which deflected. So he actually didn't get the benefit of the ability that he used.
Can I just say that Paul is clearly a genius? He lied in weights, like a possum, as Von Ivan played with his prey. Then all of a sudden he jumped up and he struck, and we laughed at the Crocodile when it came on. It was way too late. I was giggling like an idiot when the Panther and the Puma were supposedly countering it. And from that moment on, Paul, it's been all Paul in this game. What the hell?
Yeah. I mean, the Von is stacking some serious resources. He's got the
what's this? Coming from the west. That's right. It hails as the Bengal Tiger, the Königstiger, the Tiger Panzerkampfwagen 6B. It is, of course, the ultimate apex predator. And look at the Churchill Crocodile, Dad. It's getting the heck out of Dodge. It doesn't want any of that business.
Well, actually, I like that this was the unit that was selected, because this is a real El Mano situation now. And King Tiger, this is actually a really good decision, I think, to go for this garrison, because the shot from the King Tiger We'll make such short work of it. All it needs is a little ram. Just a little touch. Go on, Von.
Hey, what? The second shot didn't do any damage. Are you effing me? Yes, but he rams it anyway!
There we
Amazing stuff. King Tiger's ramming your buildings. Hide your wife, hide your children.
Where's he taking it, though? This is a little risky, I mean, you know. Paul's had a lot of time to sit on resources, so we don't know what's coming. In fact, it's going to be the Firefly. We just see that Paul's building up there. Good choice from Paul, by the way.
Excellent.
Yeah, so the King Tiger here needs to be supported wherever it goes. I personally would like to see it with some minesweepers.
Brutal there. Huge cannon. Absolutely dismembering the 6-pounder cruise.
Have a taste of your own medicine, Paul. King Tiger versus Crocodile. Love this engagement. Two of the slowest tanks you can build.
King Tiger, it just reminds me so much of that rubbish Star Wars film with the slow chase. You know?
Look at this King Tiger coming around the church. No. Stops just as I get into the position for it.
Oh, damn. I do need a time sync, just that, by the way, I believe I'm a little bit ahead.
That's fine. Oh, here's the King
Just tell
Tiger.
me.
Around the church, it's 35-45. Church goes down.
There we go. King Tiger watches on. It's just it's literally uncounterable from that position. Its frontal armor's facing, and look at the protection for its rear armor.
I know.
Just using the King Tiger to like destroy anything in the center whilst protecting every weakness it has, which is its super ease of being flanked.
I think the funny thing here is that the Firefly has been upgraded with the tulips, so fine, we can stun the King Tiger, but then, like, where's the flank? You've got the slowest thing ever in the Crocodile, which isn't going to be able to get around. The Firefly rate of fire is low. So really, the King Tiger's going to have a lot of time, and Von, I think, will, you know, it's not going to be too far off getting another tank.
I love how this game has been so north-south. It's Colony Firm is mostly, of course, west-east, because that's where the bases are, right? But not this one.
This is actually shaping up to be a classic Kolodny fight, you know, where that central VP becomes the focus. North and south have been claimed now after nearly 40 minutes of just small skirmishes. It now comes to that stalemate, and actually seeing players overcome this half of the map is the real...
It's been such a chess match out there, you know. It's a huge gambit from Paul to wait so long to get the Churchill Crocodile up and just have the confidence in what he can do with that tank, which has been very evident. He's got 17 kills. But here comes the Puma and the King Tiger. As we know, the Churchill has such a huge HP pool. Can pretty much tank anything. We're getting the Von taken out at least, though.
Von's gone for the second squad of Stern Pioneers, so I think he's going to be going for those repairs as well. This I don't like. I don't like this from Paul.
Oh, tulips on the Puma. That's a rarity. That's Crocodile's low on health, as is the King Tiger. No flank coming. Nice work from Puma to get the aimed shot off and jam the turret of the Firefly, causing it to retreat.
Oh, Von just gets a flank. Sorry, a Faust with a good flank from the Volksgrenadiers. There's nothing to pursue at the moment, and really need to see the repairs down from Von.
God, this game has such legs. It's 38 minutes in, 175 to 155 victory points. And the King of the Hill format, of course, being best of one and sudden death, it really does mean that the players sometimes play on the safe side of things, as we've seen in the first half of this game. But Company Heroes is great, because the safer you are in the first half, the more crazy the second half. You've got bigger army sizes, a lot of veteran units that are capable of higher lethality levels, and it really does boil over.
Another interesting point is that Von, even though he won the first game, he would have to win this game to claim any prize pool money. So he has to win this, do you know what I mean? Winning your first game only makes you king. you have £10 that you can't kind of like get. Do you know what I mean? So winning that second game unlocks like both the first and second out of the prize pool. So for Von, this is a big moment. He's got to come up with the defense and the counter.
6-pounder in decent position by Paul, keeping the Puma at bay. King Tiger, thanks to the Stern Pioneer's excellent repair times, is already ready to be back in the game. Veterancy 2, by the way, gives an extra 0.75 HP per second for the Stern Pioneers. So the fact that there's 2 squads means these tanks will be primed for war much more quickly. People say the King Tiger's not had the greatest game so far. I know he's got 12 kills, and that's not exactly great, but you have to consider the stability it's given Von Ivan. It's just allowing him to dominate the north. Nothing can push up there. What we need now is possibly a few mines just to stop any kind of suicidal flanks from this... Oh, he's gone for the Churchill infantry tank. We're not going to be seeing anything even resembling flanking. Instead of walking pace, this is an infantry tank.
It's a real Roman strategy, Centurion wall. Just get a bunch of highly armoured units, plonk some men in the middle, and run up the field. Actually, I think it's still a good move because the armour's really high. The rate fire from the King Tiger isn't so high to deal with it, I think. And the Puma's going to be effective.
They're forming a tortoise right now, the Brits, in true Roman fashion. The shields tightly entwined.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's coming for a base inspection with a crocodile. And that's just... Oh my lord.
Now this is interesting.
Word into action.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Where does the King Tiger go from here? If Von decides to drive it straight over, which he is, rear armor is going to be going, and will Paula take that opportunity? He'll hear it moving. It's going to be the Puma that's the response to this.
Oh, very good. Got a lot of mines, by the way, on the southwest quadrant from Paul. A lot of mines. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mines in total. He's definitely got that side of the map covered. And that's why he's created a fortified position in the centre. And this is Paul, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He does not care about the viewability of his matches. He never has done. No. He just wants to win. I
guarantee there's probably some kind of BM going on as well.
Yes, possibly.
In game chat right now, although they both just kind of observe each other from opposite ends.
Oh, JLI's found out. There's a spy!
Oh, here we go. Here comes the ability that's going to start moving things. The 105mm howitzer on the defensive position of the Brits. Are we going to see the movement from Von? The crocodile's coming up to the centre.
Nice there. Dropping some models on the 6-pounder. And this might allow Von Ivan to change positions in the centre. There's definitely not going to be any mines there anymore. But he might be able to take the central victory point now and cause Paul problems. So 92 victory points to 175, and Von Ivan's lost a lot, obviously, in the last 10 minutes of play. So now maybe they'll change position.
Oh, actually it's going to be the... this is the start of the flanking that we were looking at. The crocodile comes in. Really important that the flames get down on those support weapons. It's going to be the Churchill infantry tank that takes the hits from the King Tiger.
Also grenade thrown from the Vet 3 there. And, wow! Big shot from the King Tiger in on the Firefly. Puma backing up. Von Ivan's pulling the trigger. Oh! And gets the kill!
Big move. He blitzkrieged in to get that. And that was a huge pickoff. Essential for Von, really. Now he's going to deal with this other Churchill. And even that may go down. Puma's back in. Needs a penetrating shot. Firefly well managed to come in and mitigate the Puma coming in. The Puma goes down there to the Piats off the sappers.
They'd gotten all the way down the side. They may have thrown a heat grenade there, I believe. Oh no, they've got one Piat. You're right, yeah, one Piat. You say Piat, I say Piat. Let's pull the whole thing off.
Well, you know, aside from some lull moments, it's actually been a fairly interesting game. I think Von would have been in a very good position there, having not had lost the Puma, the vetted Puma, I may add. And now look at this. Paul senses an opportunity. He's going to ground attack through the church.
Oh, Stukazufus. First barrage. It is a big one! Holy crap! That was a lot of models dropped there. No squad wipes, but 10 models became 5, so 5 soldiers killed. And they're very expensive, so it's a good hit there for Von Ivan.
Oh, Von managing to get around, hopefully deal with that AT gun. That's a big pickup. Makes the King Tiger far more useful in the centre now without that counter.
Efficiency 2, by the way, giving very important 40% increased turret rotation speed, which means it's much quicker to get back onto its target.
Oh, I think, is this a bait from Paul? Seems to be bringing the King Tiger forward with the Firefly.
What is he baiting him into? There's no other anti-tank. Oh, he's tulipped him! But he will. The main turret is still available, is it not?
Yep.
There it is. Oh, damaged engine as well. It may have been bait. He's reversing away.
Yeah, that's the crocodile. Sorry, the Churchill is trying to get in there. Actually, with the engine damage, this is actually now a unit that can flank. Oh, Von.
Oh, Von, indeed.
If he loses this is going to be tragic. We can't afford another one yet.
No. Look at the MG34 positioning, though. It's suppressing all those squads, but the Churchill gets the kill. Oh, no, that was the Sappers yet again, by the way. The Sappers got the kill there.
This is... well, it all looked to be going so well. Now it's turned a little bit, but there is a 3 VP cap for Von Ivan still, and Paula has to overcome machine guns, I think, on either side, plus some roaming infantry. Von does have the advantage there.
Let me just say that I take it back about Paula's bait there. That was masterful. He's got a much better understanding of what the pirates are capable of than clearly I was not expecting the King Tiger to be able to go down to that. Oh, by the way, Southwest, we just had a full squad wipe to mines.
Oh no. On the... oh no. Well, this is... yeah. All Von has to do, I think, here is just keep his infantry on the VPs, and the timer's going to go down quick enough that he can win. What he does have to do is be really careful. I don't know, has he got the Minesweeper out on these Stern Pioneers after just losing one of his squads?
Oh,
he's going to hit the exact same
It's got to be big. It's got to be big because these Tommies are coming for this victory point. And I actually think that Von Ivan really needs to get these victory points. He needs to eke the game out now because he's lost more material recently.
He's got so much manpower, this Paula. Really
Tommies go north, Tommies go south. JLI's come out of the shed up north because they need to defeat the Tommies, but they have double Brens. Oh, in the centre, JLI's pushed away. He's having to resort to 105mm howitzer barrage. North side, looks like the JLI's have beaten out the Royal Engineers.
Centre, Paul's still going to try and cap whilst that's on. The Churchill's coming down south to try and help with the Stern Pioneers, I think. Oh, Paul doesn't get the cap in the centre.
Oh, axial gunner of the Churchill takes out the retreating squad there. Tommy's possibly about to die to the Vet 5 JLI. No? Perhaps not.
Oh, look at these incendiary grenades on those infantry. Wipes a squad. One model remaining there. Has to run through the middle, and I think the Jaeger-Light infantry should be able to pick that off. Nope, suppression from the MG really helps out there.
It's just about surviving. Churchill's on a rampage, by the way, causing the Focus Grenadier all kinds of problems. The 2-man suppressed tank hunter infantry section is surviving thanks to the Churchill's steady hand.
North side, the Sappers are capping. 17 victory point. Paul is somehow pulling this game from the brink of defeat.
That's pretty crazy. Actually, with a little bit more time, Von would easily have been able to drain those VPs. Paul had like such a limited window of time to get back on the field in the right way, and he sent the right combination of units to the right areas of the map. And now this is the best thing he could be doing, is sitting outside Von's base with as much as he can and making sure he does not get back on the field.
Here comes the Churchill. Going straight into base just to keep Von Ivan there, because Paul is about to get a triple cap engaged. And Churchill and Sappers up north, MG in the south, and the Churchill's now retreating to that position as the Firefly wreaks havoc in the centre. So Paul is just going for it. He wants to eke out all 60 victory points down, and that's roughly 60 seconds, 1 minute for Von Ivan to turn this game around. Big tulips, perhaps?
I don't think, really, that Von's going to be able to do it. Really would have to say. That's been a fantastic game, really. It's been one of the slower games that we get to cast. But we've just got to see behemoths fight each other constantly. And that's a really slow, do you know what I mean? In some ways it's really hard to keep track of those engagements when they're that slow. You don't have the acceleration speed to play with.
Agreed. Fantastic play by Paul. Not the most exciting in the early to mid game, but the late game strategy has really played well, and that bait was fantastic. Probably one to do highlights of if you want to watch it back.
Yeah, I agree. That was definitely a game-changing moment. So Stuka's going to fire off one last glory shot.
Firefly just causing all kinds of problem in the centre. Still 2 victory points capped, 17 victory points apiece. But we just don't think Von Ivan has the material anymore.
No, there's definitely nothing left in this. Well, we're going to see a change of hands on the throne immediately. Pretty much 100% at this point. It is going to be Paul who's going to be our king. And you guys should be thinking about who his competitors should be.
Well, I do know Nagano has been asking, whilst this Titanic 51 game has been occurring. So, indeed, looks like he's greened up. That'd be interesting for certain. Also, J for Jets out there as well. Some great players have signed up. 4 victory points left for Von Ivan. Well battled, sir, but he's going south, I tell you. He's going south with his MG34. He might be able to stem.
He cannot do it. There's not enough time. GG! Von Ivan dethroned. Paula is your new king. Well, there we have it. The end of a very short reign.
Bloody long game, though. 54 minutes.
I've aged watching that.
Well, we all have, haven't we? In the time of a fruit fly, that would have been, you know, a very long time indeed. And we've all aged slightly. Is it summer yet?
Only on KotH Firma, the cold one. Let's waste no time in doing this because we want the games to go quickly, so we can have a bit of a talk about the game after selecting the players. Welcome to all the new viewers, 750. Let's keep that number climbing. Do share out the link to the stream to all your friends and family and anyone else you think may be interested. We're going to have amazing 1v1 games played throughout this entire event. 10 episodes of King of the Hill.